everybody, and welcome back to yet another fantastic issue of Hops Geek News. We are a podcast that talks about comic books, movies, TV shows, and everybody's favorite personality trait, beer. We got a great episode lined up for you today. We're going to be talking in honor of the release of season 3. We're going to talk about the DC show Titans that will be premiering on HBO Max. It's out now. It premiered August 12th by the time you're listening to this. It's a really, really great TV series. Sometimes the finales fall flat, but we'll get into that. I am obviously Matt, one of your two co-hosts, aka Mash. Alongside me is Lauren, aka Hoppy Mommy. And if you found us, great. You know where to look. If you're trying to find us and you somehow stumbled on us, make sure you're searching Hops News on all your favorite podcasting platforms: Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, anywhere you listen. We're there. Good Pods. Check us out on Good Pods. It's a really great tool for indie podcasters to get out there. Check us out on Twitter, Geek Hops, Instagram, Hops Geek News, Facebook, Hops News, and we actually have made some progress on our website as well. I've seen some designs. I've been
Yay.
talking to the man who's designing it, so we're
Nice.
very close to having a website in which you're going to find a lot of comic book review articles, movie review articles, beer review articles, a lot of great stuff coming down the pipe. So I'm wicked excited about that. But without further ado, let's get this party started. Lauren, what's up? Last time I saw you was just a couple days ago, or actually about 20 minutes ago on Hops News on that crazy episode we had. So what has changed in your life since then?
Since the last episode, I
Yeah, what's
popped
up?
open a new, in the last 20 minutes since our last recorded episode, I popped open a new beer. Um,
Oh,
yes. And then I took a selfie with said beer because who doesn't want a nice beer selfie? But I'm drinking out of our super sweet hops geek news glass. Oh shit, you are too.
we're
So
drinking the same
I
beer out of the same glasses. We did not plan to drink out of the same glass. Fate has
great
brought us to this
minds.
moment.
And we are, people forget, we are thousands of miles apart. It would take me a
Orlando.
day and a half to drive to you.
Yes. Look at that. Look, our brains are just synced. We're connected.
Yes, we're like peas and carrots.
I see the pain in her eyes. Well, what is it you're drinking though? What are we drinking tonight?
So I'm drinking a delicious beer that you sent me from Revision Brewing Company called Social Fermentation. I love the artwork on this can. It's gorgeous. So it's basically hops hanging out drinking with, yeah, all sorts of stuff's going on.
Well,
They're
yeah, they got the
basically in the
silo. They're
fermenting
drinking
tanks.
beer out of the silo. They're pouring beer from behind the bar. This one hop looks mighty crazy. He's got a beer can open, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah, he
just
does have a beer can
if
open.
if we happen to get this up on YouTube and you're watching, hey, there is the can. There's a lot going on there. I'm showing you the can. No, but what do you? Let's read the description first. I'll read the description, then I want to hear what your thoughts about it are. It's fun to party with your friends. The gang's all here in this highly drinkable Northeast style IPA. Citra and Mosaic, of course, and our buddy Amarillo. Life of the party galaxy en route to the squad, Vic Secret. Hang out, socialize, and rock on. So this is brewed and canned by Revision Brewing out of Sparks, Nevada. It's a 6.5% IPA. And what are your thoughts on it? How do you like it? It's a New England style, so I already kind of know how you're feeling about it, but
Right. Obviously, New England's are my favorite. The hazier, the better. It's not super hazy though. It does have a beautiful, it's a very light colored. It's not like, but it is thick. So you can see that kind of juicy thing. But to me, since I'm, you know, a slut over the haze, it's light for a hazy. I feel like this would be a great like outside nice hazy beer, but I really like it. And it was one of those, you take the like most of the time the first sip's the best, but
yeah.
sometimes when a beer has a lot of flavor, the first sip is not the best. So it was a few sips in and I was like, oh, this is getting better. Like sometimes it does get better and the flavor comes out more, but no, I really like this one. This is a good one. So many breweries are doing like hazy New England styles now, and they don't all live up to the name of that. In I guess my personal preference, I should say. So when I do get ones that I'm not familiar with the brewery or familiar with that specific beer, and I'm like, oh, this is really good, it makes me very happy. So this beer makes me happy.
Hmm. It does. It is good. It's got a lot of flavor in it. It is a little pretty hazy, but I mean, kind of
But
lighter
it's
than I
not like a
expected.
juice bomb. I guess my favorites are the bombs.
The bombs. Yeah, you
They're
like
all
the
such douchey terms. I don't know why I like the
haze,
douche filled
bro,
beers.
bombs. Like it's just, look, everybody teach
Yes,
their own. I
I'm
love
a
pumpkin.
haze
You
girl.
love hazies. It's just how it goes sometimes.
You're
Drank
basic. I'm a haze bro.
I drank this here pumpkin head seltzer on our Hops News episode tonight. So look, everyone's got a preference. Life is too short to actually care.
That's true. Especially care what other people are doing. So
No,
drink what
and
you
yeah,
like.
enjoy what you want to enjoy. If you want to crack open that Bud Light, I'm going to make fun of you. But at the end of the day, life is way too short. Enjoy what you want to enjoy because that's what makes us different and makes us fun. If we all like the same things, life would be boring.
I tell my kids that all the time. It'd be real boring if all your friends like the same shit.
Exactly. Like, then what are you going to talk about? Nothing because you all like the same stuff. So,
You're going to get real excited when you're drinking out of the same beer glass, drinking the same beer.
exactly. Like half planned, we have planned it. Sometimes we plan things, sometimes we don't. So you got a little glimpse of that. But let's talk about what we messed up on last week. And surprisingly, this is an empty block. Did we do it? Did we do the thing?
No, because the episode released an hour and a half ago, and we've
It
been
released
recording
just
ever
today,
since.
so we don't actually know yet. So if we did mess
So
up on
yeah,
anything, we'll let you know next week. But we did release the episode. It is out now everywhere. We talked with John Davis Hunt. I was gonna ask him if he collects stickers at all. I was gonna offer to send him a couple stickers, but then I was like, I don't know if that's weird. So
I don't think
uh,
that's weird. We're a podcast.
that's true.
Honestly, I think we should probably. I thought about that a while ago. Like anytime we have a guest, we should send them like a thank you card with a couple stickers because it's really nice for them to take. I mean, a lot of times, yes, it's mutually beneficial, but anybody who takes their time out to come on our podcast, we greatly appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's weird.
Well,
Um,
guess what? We're at a clean slate. We didn't mess up anything. Awesome.
that we know of.
True. What did you read or watch this past week? In the 2 days since we've talked.
I know. I caught up on some Wolverine comics, just a couple of them. Nothing super exciting, although Deadpool did make an appearance in one of them. And, who doesn't love a Deadpool appearance when you're reading comics? And then this morning, I watched the first episode of What If?
I watched that too. What did you
The
spoilers?
odds.
If you haven't seen What If at all yet, 3, 2, 1. What did you think?
I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. You even made the comment that you texted me, like, oh, I liked all the nods to the MCU. I totally agree. I thought that was great. One of my favorite things from it was just the comments that Bucky made because it was Captain America Bucky. It was pre-Winter Soldier Bucky, and we don't get that anymore.
Oh yeah.
He's starting to come around and he gets a little more playful with Falcon, but he's still very like jaded and weighed down for all the murders he did. So it was, like when he called the squid thing, like, oh, who ordered calamari? It's like, I don't feel like we would have gotten that in Civil War or Infinity War.
No, because at that point
Endgame.
he's
So
too he's got a lot of trauma at that point. He's still
yeah,
figuring like in Falcon and Winter Soldier, he's figuring himself out still. And you kind of see a little bit of it come out, but it's slowly getting there where you don't have the pre-Buck because Bucky in World War II era, he was just a blast to hang out with. He was a party guy kind of.
right. He was, oh, I brought the girls, and one of the girls was Clara from Doctor Who.
That's right. That is right.
But yeah, so that was fun. And then I liked seeing I like that they still like kind of teamed up Steve and Peggy in like a romantic thing. That was nice because it, made them not seem shallow and whatnot. But and you see the with the Hydra Stomper, which is clearly the first
Yeah.
Iron Man
Yep.
costume. That was cool.
I almost bought that
So I
Lego
enjoyed it.
set. I was gonna buy that Lego set because they have that out. They have some of the what ifs out, and that's one of
Oh
the ones.
geez.
I wanted the Captain Carter. That's why. But I liked it too. I did like. I think one of the things I really liked about Peggy is I feel like she was just very brash and like, hey, you know what? I got these powers. I'm gonna go out and kick everybody's ass, and she had no fear. Whereas Steve was he was kind of like, he had his bravery in a different way. He was more humble, I feel like, and Peggy she wasn't arrogant by any means, but I don't really quite know how to
She's a
describe.
girl. She's was already overcompensating, and
Oh,
she had to
that's the
overcompensate
word.
more because she's a girl. And I mean, it's
Well, the colonel,
especially
everybody
then.
who saw her was like, "There's a dame out here," and the colonel was like, "Women can't go out there."
Right. Their boobs and vagina will get in the way.
Yeah, and she was out there just kicking ass, and it was kind of, and I will say the one thing that surprised me was the fact that they killed Red Skull like that. They just crushed him for
Yeah.
nothing. I was like, oh shit, when the Hydra, the actual Hydra, whatever they want to call it, came out and crushed
This
him. And I was like,
calamari.
damn, okay. And I thought at the end when she came back out of the Tesseract portal, I thought for sure that she was in our timeline, which isn't
Mm-hmm.
it's I don't think that's the case at all. I'm pretty sure it's not the case. So I thought for sure that's what it was, but I think she's just coming
Mm.
back into modern times is what it is, and they're all going to connect somehow, Avenger style.
Yeah,
Because
but they said she's going to be in every season, right? So we're going to get to see where she goes from here.
yes, I mean it's very possible that they bring Peggy Carter into somehow because the multiverse is a thing now. So it's very possible that we do get beefed up Agent Carter coming back into our timeline somehow to play Captain Carter, which I think would be pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have
Well,
to
and my daughter
CGI.
made the theory that what if Steve is Winter Soldier?
Oh,
Because then they
that
could
would be.
reunite.
Oh, but yeah, because she was they did the nod to the "You Owe Me a Dance," and she was like Saturday before she disappeared, and then she came back, and they're like the
Right.
war's over for 70 years, and she was they talked about Steve briefly there, and so yeah, that's very interesting. That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Well, we thought for sure that was the case when he crashed on the train and then
Yeah,
he came back. So, but I was like, oh, yep, you're right. He's going to be Winter Soldier. And then he came back. So that'll be because, Winter Soldier did get some of the superhero soldier serum.
he did.
So
Yep. So it would be interesting. Very interesting. We'll kind of see where it goes. And I'm excited. I thought the first 3 episodes were out. Apparently not. I guess some of the podcasts got lucky and got the first 3 episodes as screeners, blah, 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 blah. Kudos to you guys. You guys are doing
we're
really
not
killer stuff.
special.
We're not yet, but we're going to
Wah,
get there.
wah,
We will get
wah.
there. I'm going to just hit up the right people and annoy the hell out of them. Maybe that'll change. But
Who,
um,
Kevin Feige?
yeah, pretty much. But I know something else we both watched was the Suicide Squad. So I did a massive team up with four nerds by nerds, FN nerds, and Geek Peak. We all teamed up and dropped a big collaborative episode where we talked about the Suicide Squad. But you and I haven't quite talked about it yet. So again, spoilers. What did you how did you like the Suicide Squad? What were your thoughts on it?
I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I was very surprised. So yeah, definitely spoilers. Because I wondered, I'm like, how is this cast so stacked? Because they fucking
It
kill
really
more than half
was
of them in the first five
right in the
minutes.
first 10 minutes. Like they kill everybody immediately.
So that was fantastic. I actually really enjoyed that, even though there were characters I was genuinely looking forward to seeing more of.
Captain Boomerang. I was legit
Um,
pissed about that one.
yeah. But oh yeah, Pete Davidson though, I was excited to see him, and then I didn't think his acting was very good in this role. So then I was excited that he got cut off right away. But
He was the first one to
I knew
die.
Harley, yeah, I knew Harley had to still be alive. But Michael Rooker, I thought for sure he was going to be around longer.
Oh, they set him up right from the get go to be like you thought he was going to be a main character because the way he
Yeah.
was sitting in the prison cell and you followed him up
Mm-hmm.
until he dies. Like you thought he was going to be a main character because you thought he was going to be a badass who popped up over the barrier and did some cool stuff to save them. But
Yes.
no, it actually turns out that he swam away and they do the bomb in the head scene, which was a cool way to incorporate that into the movie somehow.
Yeah, I know. And she's just like, no hesitant. Like he's scared he's going to die anyways. And then boop. But that was interesting because I did not, and I was surprised that they had Harley and what's the other dude from
Rick,
House of Cards?
Rick Flag.
Yes, Rick Flag.
I didn't know
Because
he's
it's
cards. To be honest with you, I've never seen that
yeah,
show.
he runs for president against Kevin Spacey, and the woman who plays his wife is actually in The Boys. She's Queen Maeve.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
they're
Well,
a
yeah,
power
Rick
couple.
Flag. I really liked Rick Flag in this, by the way.
Yes, I did. And I loved him and Harley's kind of like, you came back to save me. Of course, it didn't end well. And I was kind of surprised there. Like at the end, when they said this person's still alive, is before I knew about the Peacemaker show. So I thought it was Rick Flag. I was like,
I
oh, good.
was,
He's not dead.
yeah. Well, I knew about the Peacemaker show. I just thought that he was dead and that we had a prequel coming. But yeah, Rick
Ah,
Flag he's dead. Unfortunately, James Gunn does a wonderful job getting you to actually care about characters, and so
Yeah, I didn't care about Rick Flag in the first movie. I thought he was a
No,
douche.
Rick Flag was a
I
douche
really
in that
liked him
movie.
in this movie.
Nobody was good in that first one. Harley was decent, but that's because Margot Robbie, does a killer job and she
Right.
carries the DCU right now.
God, she's
But
gorgeous.
in this movie, they did a really, really killer job with making you care about just about every character there. Like Bloodsport, Idris Elba was awesome. John
Even the one
Cena,
dude, what was his name that
Polka Dot
nobody?
Man.
No, not Polka Dot Man. The Milton.
Oh, Milton. Who's Milton? And then Polka Dot. He's been with us the whole time. Are you kidding me?
Just
He
like
goes,
I feel like I would
no.
have remembered a Milton.
That was great. Because there was a lot of speculation when they were walking through the rain that everybody kind of comes into frame. There was speculation when the pictures, people were like, "Who is that? Who is that?" It turns out to be a nobody essentially, which is even better.
It's like the
So
dude from Deadpool.
yeah, that was great. I was kind of disappointed that they killed off not just Rick Flag, but Captain Boomerang died. They wasted another Flash villain, the Thinker, Peter Capaldi. I get he was the kind of the villain guy in a way,
Mm-hmm.
but they kind of wasted him as well. I was kind of disappointed that because you could have switched him out and it could have been anybody.
They used him in the Flash show, didn't they? The
Yeah,
Thinker.
and so they had a lot of Flash villains as part of the Suicide Squad that they just kill off.
Hmm.
King Shark is another Flash villain. Thank God he didn't die. But I'll be honest with you, when they were shooting him point blank, I was like, great, this is a fucking King Shark
Now,
dies.
in the comics, is King because I thought in the TV show, like he's a marine biologist. I thought that got turned into King
It's
Shark,
it's all sort of different iterations. I
but
mean,
he's
he's a
like
hammerhead most of the time, but James Gunn didn't want him to be a hammerhead because it's hard for the actors to focus. So if you have the two eyes right
right.
here, it's kind of makes more sense. But
Huh.
there's
I
a lot of
didn't know
different
that.
iterations of King Shark, and
But is he unintelligent like the Hulk
no, he's
in the comics?
no, he's actually intelligent. I
So they
think
did
it's
that
they
for
dumbed
comedic
yeah
value
they
then.
dumbed him down. Sylvester Stallone played the voice. They did dumb him down, which works in this movie by all means. It was good, but
Yeah.
I would like to see him progress and get smarter and smarter. Maybe uh, Ratcatcher 2, another really
Oh, I
really
did
great
like her.
character who you don't care about in the comics whatsoever, and now all of a sudden you care about. And
And
Bloodsport
her
again.
dad's Taiki Waititi.
Yeah, everybody was speculating who he was, and it turns out he just played like this one minor role. And even Starro, the villain, you were like, the dude just wanted to watch the
I
stars.
know. He's like, I was happy in the stars.
And Polka Dot Man, David Dasmatian, I can't pronounce his name properly. I really apologize.
Oh, he's a new villain in the Flash right now in the beginning of season 7.
Wait, again, no, he was in the Flash previously too.
Yeah, he came back.
Oh, well, I stopped watching. Anyways, he was in The Dark Knight way back when, and he's
I
in
should stop
Ant-Man as
watching.
well. He's in the Flash TV show. He was in this movie. And he actually tweeted back at us because I was like, dude, he killed it in this movie. It was really great. They did a really great job with
Yeah,
him. And
with
he
his
tweeted
mom.
back at us. So that's really rad. So overall, I think John Cena's acting was probably one of the best. Like if you look at Fast Nine John Cena and this John Cena, two vastly different actors, in my opinion. And
I thought he
that's
was great in Blockers.
yeah, he was. He was comedic in that one. But this one, when he's like standing over Ratcatcher 2 about to shoot her, like you really
Mm.
like that was great acting there. Like he wants peace at all cost, as you see, and he's just doing what he's told. And that's obviously where the conflict shows up. And then Bloodsport, whose Bloodsport's costume, his outfit was my favorite by far. Like the helmet, it was dope as fuck, as John Cena would say. But in my opinion, this movie is a 9.5. I loved it. There was a couple things that I would have loved better, such as like I mean, I get why they killed off certain characters because it makes you feel nobody is safe. But
Mm-hmm.
overall, like to find something I didn't like about this movie, you're really just grasping at straws. It was campy at times. It was bloody. It was what the Suicide Squad should have been. The villain was great, and all the actors knocked it out of the park. James Gunn does such a great job at getting the most out of his actors, and they had a lot of nods to James Gunn's other films, like Slither. You see, like when the Starro, he's shooting his little Starro men out onto people's faces, like that kind of horror that goes back to James Gunn's early days in doing Slither and Dawn of the Dead. A lot of like the really cool scene of Peacemaker and Flag fighting in the reflection of the helmet. That was another really great shot. So I know you didn't love it as much as I did. I've seen
I
it a
like.
couple times. No, I didn't. I'm not saying you didn't love it.
Yeah,
I just you have you gave it a 7.5. I gave it a 9.5, and I think it's the best DC movie that they've come out with so far.
I did really love it. I guess the reason I liked the first Wonder Woman more than this one was I felt that the first Wonder Woman was a better storyline overall.
Yeah.
If so I felt like Suicide Squad, it was a lot of fun. It was more of a fun movie, whereas Wonder Woman, I felt like they did a better job of telling the story from beginning to end. But I do want to give, but I mean, Suicide Squad also had to deal with the first movie and all that crap.
Well, they also did
And
a
I
lot of like, you saw straight off. Like there's a lot of studio interference in that first one though.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's with any DC movie, unfortunately. But
Except for this one.
um I did like that they really painted Amanda Waller as the villain, because I felt like they didn't do that enough in the last one, and she is a villain,
Oh, she was
obviously.
ruthless in this one. And so I thought when they knocked her out with the golf club, that was a great scene.
Well, I knew that they weren't going to kill Harley Quinn. She's
No,
just
without a doubt.
too
She was the only
important.
one I knew was safe.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely, yes, agreed. So I knew that it was okay in that regard, but no, I did really like it, and kudos to Margot Robbie, because apparently the scene where she picks up the key with her foot and does the lock, she did that.
Quentin
Like,
Tarantino is just loving life right now for that scene.
but when she was preparing for the first movie, she did a lot of that like silk stuff and that training, and so she trained for all of that. So I
Yeah,
mean, it made sense that she was able to do that.
that's true. That is very true. So yeah, the movie was great. Margot Robbie carries it. She was fantastic. Her monologue after she killed El Presidente there was great. You felt for her.
I
She
love
was really
that. Yeah,
serious.
I always fall for toxic guys or whatever. She said, I'm just not. I'm going to do the healthy thing now."
Like I always said, I would kill him. And
Right.
it was a great. I thought for sure Bloodsport would die, but I'm glad he didn't. I hope to see Idris Elba back. He was great in this, and I love the scene where she's getting in the taxi with a javelin because she's still killing people with the javelin. She carries it around everywhere.
Right.
Um,
It's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
yeah, do what? And you just see like Bloodsport and Peacemaker running through the streets with their helmets on still, and it just looks so goofy. And you're just that's the kind of thing that I love about James Gunn that he's not able to do in like Marvel is like he brought his gore factor back, which it's not all about shock and awe and gore, but like he just tells a really good story no matter what he does. So
Well, and it's got to be an R rating, so he
yeah,
definitely
that
had
helped it
a
too. And it's got a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, 84%
wow.
audience score, but people are claiming it's a flop, all that kind of stuff. I take issue with that because it's like there's literally a pandemic still going on. People can't get to the
Yeah.
theaters. It's on HBO Max, which if you do a free trial, you can cancel that. So you don't pay
I
a
watched it on
$30
HBO.
one-time fee like you do Black Widow. You could just literally sign up for a free trial, watch this movie for free essentially, and quit it because it knocked it out of the park streaming wise. So like there's a lot of factors in it. I'm not going to go too deep into it. That's just how we feel, and that's the Suicide Squad. Did you watch anything else?
No, I really didn't, other than like Supernatural when I was on the treadmill. But
Shocking.
no, that's about it. Because I actually, like I was saying on Hops News, I got to actually see friends and hang out with friends, and
Yeah, you
we
got
were
so
all
many friends. I'm still flabbergasted.
vaccinated. It was so funny. So there was only like 8 of us that went to Universal. A couple
Yeah,
people, unfortunately, one friend got COVID, and the other one got knocked up at her 40th birthday. She's very excited though, and I'm very happy for her.
good for
But it
you.
was
But
funny.
oof.
So my friend Lisa, all the people we went to high school with, and it's a bunch of us couples that all went to high school together. And my one friend Lisa, and she's, you come up now because you're part of my regular life. So I'll be like, oh yeah, my friend Matt. And Lisa's like, yeah, but you don't actually read the comic books, right? You just use them for props. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you don't read comic books. I was like, Lisa, I've been reading comic books for years, even when
You
I lived
don't
in
even
Sunrise.
know me.
And she's like, wait, you actually read them? I'm like, yes.
First of all, I come up in casual conversation. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. I made it into her inner circle of 29
Well, and
million
I was with
friends.
Erica and Ski, and they've met you.
Yes, that's true. But she thought you just did them for props. Like that's
Yep.
hilarious. Like you don't actually read those, right? Right.
Right.
It's
Well, I mean, I didn't when she met me. I mean, I've known her since I was
well, yeah,
like
you've known
15.
everybody for so long, right?
Right. But yeah, it was funny. But yeah, I thought that was great.
that is good. Oh man.
And then she goes, well, what comics do you actually read? I'm like, she knows
All
I
of
named my
them.
kid after Wolverine. I mean, come on, Lisa. But yeah, no, it was fun. We had a great time. It was good.
Get it together, man. The only other thing that I've watched that you haven't is Ted Lasso. I've watched the first 2 episodes of season 2.
Yes.
I think I
Lisa, that might have
finally
been how you came up. Lisa was telling me how good it was.
oh
So was her husband, Mike.
The first season, 10 out of 10. Second season so far, another 10 out of 10. I think what I love so much about Ted Lasso, I figured it out last night, is too often in TV shows, when there is a conflict, they drag that shit out for
For the whole season.
so long. And it just becomes like a simple conversation could end this entire conflict. What Ted Lasso does is they do a great job of building that conflict, but they address it within that episode, if not the next episode. And I'm not going to spoil it anything beyond that. Um,
Hmm.
they just do such a great job of conflict resolution that like a simple conversation could solve this whole thing, and they do that. And so it's not drug out throughout an entire season,
Right.
and it's just done so well. Like the characters, they're so upbeat. It's such an uplifting, positive show that it might just be my comfort show now. Like it is Supernatural for you. Ted Lasso might be it for me because it is such a great story. It's amazing, and all the actors are wonderful. It is hilarious. Don't watch it with kids, obviously, but yeah,
I wouldn't have known
I
that.
no,
So that's good
don't
information.
watch it with kids. It's very much not a kid friendly show.
Okay.
But that's what I've been watching, and I know I have season 5 of Rick and Morty to watch as well. But Ted Lasso, man, please, if you do one thing, watch Ted Lasso as soon as you can.
I need to do this. But
It
yeah,
is
they were
great.
raving about it. Lisa's like, no, it's an amazing show.
It straight up is. There's not a single character that I truly hate, because even the guy who you're supposed to hate, he has flaws that make sense, and you're like, dude, I feel for him. I get it. And so every character is fantastic, and man, I just can't rave enough about it.
Nice.
And that's all I have to say about that.
All right,
But let's
Forrest.
let's keep rolling.
Oh, I did watch the behind the scenes on Forrest Gump. I don't know
Oh,
if I
is it
mentioned
the
that.
movies that made us?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Let's chat about some news. So what kind of news do we have this week?
So, Catherine Zeta Jones has been cast as Morticia in the Netflix Adams Family movie. Last week we mentioned Luis Gomez. No, Gomez. That's wrong. Gomez is his name in the show. Luis, motherfucker.
You know him, yeah, you know him, and
You
he's in
know
like a
him.
ton of movies. I know exactly who you're
Yep.
talking about. Well, guess I know what we're adding next week on what we
No, but it's
missed
in
out.
the last week. It's in the one that premiered tonight. But yeah, so there'll be Morticia and Gomez. This fall, Disney Plus is doing a Muppet Baby Haunted Mansion special. So
Oh,
Gonzo is challenged to spend a night in the Haunted Mansion. Will he become the 1000th ghost? Tune in to find out. I'm actually excited about this. I think that'll be fun, and it'll be something fun to watch with the kids at Halloween time.
yeah, I didn't know that that was coming out, because my wife, she really loves the Muppets, so it'd be really cool to check out the Muppets. I'm in. I'm here.
Yes, and I'm guessing it's the Disneyland Haunted Mansion.
That's a good
But
ride. I did that ride before. I actually didn't mind it. And I don't mind the Haunted Mansion. I think that movie deserves to get more love than it does.
oh, it's honestly pretty damn scary for like we have it on
Oh,
DVD, so
yeah,
we
it
put it on at
is.
Halloween. Like the scene in the crypt where she's like trying to get the key, like that shit's terrifying. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, Haunted Mansion definitely underrated. Eddie Murphy's the dad in that. Great movie. Um, Secret Invasion is getting started. Samuel L. Jackson posted a teaser with some of the facial hair I guess he has to wear, and he's wearing a shirt that has the Captain Marvel beeper on it that I
Oh.
love and I need to find because I had that beeper in high school, but it didn't have the Captain Marvel logo on it. So that's pretty sweet. Tom Hardy is already telling interviewers that he has ideas for Venom 3. I don't know if
Oh
that's good or
no.
bad.
Why?
Time will tell.
Why?
Batman 89 comic came out today and it's
It
already sold
did.
out at my comic book shop. I tried to
I
get it.
called yesterday. So I thought yesterday was Wednesday. It was Tuesday, in fact, of course. So when I called, I was like, I need the Batman 89 comic. She's like, it actually comes out tomorrow. I was like, oh, thank God. Can I put that in my box? And then I tried to proceed to get the other comics in my box. And she was like, dude, they all come out tomorrow. I was like, what? Today's Wednesday. She's like, no, it's Tuesday. Some comic stores get stuff on Tuesdays. And I was like, oh, well, I'm a day ahead. Please get these in my comic box. So I got it. I will see about getting you a copy, though.
Well, they said they're like, oh, if we have any extras, I'll put it. I'll eat. The guy told me, he goes, I'll throw it in your box. But yeah, I mean, your excitement of it, and somebody else posted it. I was like, oh, I should check this out because I've never actually, consistently read DC comics. But I mean, I love that movie. It's Tim
It's a
Burton.
continuation of the movie. That's exactly what it
Yeah.
is.
Okay. Well, and I guess they're adding Robin to it too, I believe.
So, fun little tidbit for you. There, Tim Burton was going to do a third one, right? And Marlon Wayans was actually supposed to play Robin in that
Oh, because
third
he would have
one.
been young then. I was like,
They
really?
gave
He's old.
they did the test suit and everything. He still has the suit, I believe. But
Oh, wow.
obviously the movie didn't work out. So yes, he has a Robin in this comic because in Tim Burton's universe continuation, they were actually going to have introduced Robin in the third movie. But then it didn't pan out.
Oh.
Joel Schumacher took over, all that kind of stuff. So
And then we got Jim Carrey and
yes, we
Tommy
did.
Lee
Oh,
Jones.
yes, we did.
Yeah, I love Tim Burton. I'm getting okay. I was singing Nightmare earlier. It's too soon, too soon. Okay. There may be a delay on the Jackass Forever movie that's supposed to come out October 22nd because BAM is suing Johnny Knoxville and others because he was cut from the movie and they're apparently using his ideas still though. So I guess he was in rehab in 2019 and when he got out and they were using him, they're like, you have to take these drug tests and alcohol tests
Yeah,
regularly
he can't
to
stay off drugs and alcohol.
but I think that's a common thing though, because they can get insurance on actors. Like I know there was a period of time where Robert Downey Jr. was like expensive to cast because he was addicted to drugs. So they would have insurance policies on these actors. But apparently he failed one of the tests, but BAM says he failed it because he was taking Adderall and he has a prescription for that, whatever. So they're going to court.
That's
So
not
I don't know if,
something
I mean,
I don't think Bam's gonna win that one, I'll be honest with you. But
he may not if there was
that's why we
breach
go
of
to court, right?
contract, who knows? But I kind of felt like Bam, like after I don't know, the first like once Bam got big, because he got bigger, it seemed like than the
He
rest of
did.
them.
He had the Bam Margera show. Like, what will he do
Yeah, and then he seemed
next?
like he turned into a bit of a douche though.
Well, if by every account that I have seen and read about Bam Margera from people who live in that area and have run into him, he's very much an asshole.
That's what I've heard.
So, and he also is very big on drugs, and it got even worse after Ryan Dunn died. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
shitty situation, but we'll see. Chloe Bennett has backed out of Powder Puff Girls. So
Damn,
she
you
is the
took
one
it. I was
from
gonna say that too. Yeah.
Oh, were you? That
It's
came
in
out
my
today
news.
too.
You had two things
Ah,
that were in my news. I deleted one of them. Haha.
oh, sorry. I should read your. Oh, yeah, I see that right there.
Mhm.
Well, so it came up scheduling conflicts. So my first question is, what else are you doing like that you needed to cancel? And then some people are saying, well, I don't think it's scheduling conflicts.
Yeah. I don't think I think she realized what she was a part of and she was like, ooh,
That's what some people are saying because I guess the first script got leaked and people weren't happy with it.
it was awful.
My last piece of news. So Jess sent me this earlier. She was on our Harry Potter episode back in December. The alligator farm is in St. Augustine in Florida, and they posted a picture of a gator wearing Loki things and said,
Oh
"Oh,
yeah, I
like
saw her
Loki
tag
variant."
you in that today.
Yeah. So the actual writer of the Loki series came down to the alligator farm and got to meet the alligator with the Loki horns on, and it was funny because yesterday I posted on our Instagram page, I did that whole Geesh thing, the international scavenger
Yes,
hunt thing.
yes.
And one of the things was dress as a Loki variant and do something that the alligator farm recommends that will benefit the environment. So I feel like a lot of people don't read descriptions. So they're probably like, what the fuck is she doing holding up bamboo silverware wearing Loki Mickey ears? But
you pulled off the suit though. You looked like as Loki. That was a pretty solid variant look.
I used to wear that suit to court when I worked full time. So I was like, ugh, I do not miss wearing suits full time. I hate wearing suits. I don't think anybody
See,
likes
I
wearing
felt it
suits.
different. I officiated a wedding this weekend. I had to wear a suit, and I actually was like, "Damn, I would like." It's kind of comfortable.
I think that, before you have to do it every day for work, it seems like, oh, this will be
That's true.
nice. I'll dress up nice. And the
Well, I wear a
novelty of it
uniform
wears
anyways,
off
though.
pretty quick. Like when you have to, like, I remember walking to the courthouse in like 95-degree weather in a suit is just terrible.
Yeah, that's no good point. That's a very good point.
But yeah, that is my lawyering suit I was wearing with my Mickey
You've been
ears.
lawyered.
Loki was lawyered. But yeah, so that was what that picture was. If anybody read the thing, then they knew what that was. So I thought that was pretty cool. So what news do you have that I didn't steal?
Well, well, well.
That's it. He has nothing.
Nothing. No. Idris Elba, because I deleted this off of your news, so you didn't steal that one too. Idris Elba has been
Fair
cast as
enough.
Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog #2. That man is just getting his bag. I respect it. He is a hardworking man, and I'm excited for this movie because my kids loved the first one, so I'm here for it. We're cool. Um, it's an end of an era, being that the Wizard World Comic Convention is ending after 25 years. I believe they sold to Fan Expo.
So won't Fan Expo still do Wizard Cons then? I think I went to one of the Fan Expos. It was a Walker Stalker. Is
I
that Fan Expo?
Fan Expo, I think Fan X is the Salt Lake. They're
Oh,
doing
you know
Salt
what?
Lake, so Fan X is Salt Lake.
That will be on our We Fucked Up because I think I saw them on MegaCon too,
We're gonna have to
actually.
figure that out too.
Yeah,
But
they're on MegaCon as well.
nonetheless, is Wizard World though they did a lot of high profile things like. I met David Tennant at Wizard World Raleigh. That's the event where the day my son was made, and also the day that I couldn't get a proper selfie
Son was
with.
made.
Yes.
When you first said that, it made me think like he was made, like he was a bad guy, and they made him.
No, that's his villain origin
It was
story.
literally made.
But no, yeah, so Wizard World, a lot of great memories for a lot of good people there. So that's kind of disappointing. They've been kind of sold off. I wonder if the pandemic had anything to do with that. I don't know. More to be seen. But AC Bradley has said that one of the what if episode ideas they had to scrap was where Spider-Man turns into a real spider because it was too dark and too body horror for the PG-13, which is interesting because all my 80s and 90s kids might remember in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon where Spider-Man turns into a spider and like Wolverine battles him and all of that stuff. So like I don't
What?
get you never saw the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. He literally turns into a spider.
No,
Like he has some sort of virus wrong with him where they're trying to find the cure and he turns into a spider. So I
I
don't.
didn't read or watch anything in the 90s
Oh,
that
well,
was
yeah, that's an actual
superheroes.
that's an actual cartoon arc in the 90s where Spider-Man
Huh.
turns into a spider, and that was a kids cartoon, but now all of a sudden they say that this is just too dark for a PG-13 rating where he turns into a spider. Like that's stupid.
Oh.
Of all the stuff I've seen PG-13 get away with, how is this too dark? I
Yeah, but you
don't
got to
get
look at PG in the 80s. I mean, just
well,
PG in the
but
80s.
even
Like,
now
don't
though,
fuck with the babysitter. Like, the ratings were definitely more lenient then than they are now. You got to say fuck with the babysitter. Pretty sure Adventures in
you
Babysitting
get
is
two
PG.
F words in PG-13 movies now.
That's PG-13. But what is What is
They just said
Adventures
it
in
was too dark for
Babysitting?
the PG-13 rating. I don't
No,
know.
but I'm saying though the ratings have gotten stricter.
Oh, I don't know.
Like
It's kind of lame.
Adventures in Babysitting was rated PG, and they got to say fuck.
Oh. Well, you're allowed now to say two F words though per PG-13
I
rating.
thought it used to only be one because I remember Hugh Jackman making a comment about
It's two. You're allowed two.
good for
Anyways,
them.
I will move on. I think that's stupid. Marvel, you're stupid. Um, so we already talked about how Margot Robbie actually did the stunt herself. Another
Robbie.
Marvel fact, yeah, whatever. Marvel pays creators $5,000 when they use their properties in movies or TV shows, which I feel like they lowball
Oh,
them
was rated
there.
PG-13.
So Marvel only pays like comic book creators 5,000. It's like you created Thanos. They're only going to pay you $5,000 to use Thanos in these movies. So that's kind of lame. I think so. And that's also ties into why a lot of comic book creators like Scott Snyder and the like, they're actually moving to independent comics and creating their own comics, probably because they
Oh,
don't get.
Scott Snyder's doing Noctera.
Yeah, he's creating his own series. There's a
It's
lot.
really
There's
good.
another really big DC creator who's leaving to do independent comics as well, and I wonder if royalties plays a big factor in that. But that was the last news I really had, and I didn't have too much this week. And so let's talk about our main topic time. It's time to talk about Titans. By the time this comes out, Titans episode 1, at least I don't know how they're doing it. Are they doing it weekly or are they doing it all at once?
I don't know. I've never watched an HBO Max show that was out live.
I
I
haven't
always
either. I
watched it
should
in a
probably know
group.
this, but I've always binged it. But regardless, at this point, Titans is out, season 3, and it's introducing the Red Hood. I believe Tim Drake is going to be in it. A lot of good things. So This is a show about the Teen Titans. It has Raven, Starfire. It has Nightwing, aka Dick Grayson. It has Hawkman and Dove Girl. They're in it as well. It had obviously Jason Todd played a big role last season. I like the show. The finales
Hmm.
often feel kind of flat, like comparatively, and so that's been a big complaint. But the show is really good, and so they even did a crossover at one point with Doom Patrol. They haven't yet alluded that this is a part of the bigger DC universe. They've kind of kept it somewhat separately, which I forget his name, but he's from Game of Thrones. He actually plays Bruce Wayne
Yes, I have him
in
in here.
this.
He was the guy that was in love with Khaleesi, if that narrows it down.
Yes, I forget his name all of a sudden, but
Because it's a fancy name. It's a
it
weird name.
is. It is. So why don't you go ahead and give us some fun facts, give us the comic book origins, and then we'll talk about our thoughts real quick on what we thought about seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, so like you were saying with Doom Patrol, so there is an episode with Doom Patrol, and that was kind of like their pilot for Doom Patrol in that they did recast a couple characters. So they recast Chief, but I can tell that they also recast what's this guy, the mummy dude. I know
Did
you
they
can't
really?
I did not verify this, but the way his body is and everything, it definitely looks different because in Doom Patrol, he seems more upbeat and he actually looks more like he looks when they do the flashbacks. And in this, he looked more hunched over and kind of shorter.
They could
So
have just maybe the actor wasn't available for that.
well, and I don't actually think that the voice actor is the same as the actual person. I think it's like Brendan Fraser. I think it's two different people. But I believe the person who just was physically doing it is different. I did not verify that.
Oh,
I'll look that up for next week. But they just right away I was like, this is not the same dude. I don't know why, but he looked like less attractive, even though he's covered in in bandages.
that makes
But
sense.
all right, so Teen Titans, and like you were saying before, I do think it has a lot of ups and downs, and there are episodes that are fantastic, and there's episodes that are but overall, I do think it's a very good show, and I would recommend it to anybody who enjoys comic book shows, and I think that they do some amazing stuff in it. It's just not all perfection, but I do also feel like they do a good job on building the characters and the story, and that's why sometimes it's slow.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to get through that to get
Well,
the
I mean,
the
they got to
full
fill
effect.
certain episodes too. So, I mean, you
Yeah.
have.
Okay. So Teen Titans originally ran from 1966 to 1978. The original team were basically the sidekicks of the major superheroes in the Justice League. The original team consisted of Robin, Wonder Girl, Kid Flash, Aqualad, and at times Speedy. I
Yay.
didn't know that because I only knew Speedy from Arrow.
Yeah, Speedy.
So
Yeah, Speedy's in it.
is Speedy a dude in the comics or a girl?
I believe as a dude.
Yeah, it's a girl in Arrow because it's his little sister. So in the show, obviously we have Robin, we have Wonder Girl, Aqualad, but we don't see Kid Flash or Speedy yet. So Dick Grayson is the main character in the comics. Obviously, he's Robin. He was a college dropout, and when he formed the new Teen Titans in New York City, he actually became a police detective later in his career after leaving the Titans and moving to Bloodhaven to establish a solo career as the city's vigilante guardian Nightwing. So they really did pull a lot of this stuff from the comics and put it directly in the show. Dick Grayson was just kind of mixed up his origin. So Rachel Roth is actually known as Raven in the comics. She has parent or her powers and her parents are in line with the show. She has a
Hmm.
demon dad and a human mom. Her powers are very empathetic. She can somewhat randomly predict the future, and we see that in her dreams in the show. She can also manipulate time in the comics. So I'm wondering if we will see that. That always makes me nervous, but the MCU is doing it, so we'll see. Raven initially approached the Justice League in the comics and asked for help, but they refused on the advice of Zatanna, who sensed her demonic parentage.
It's Zatanna, not Zantana.
Well, that's why you're here.
Zatanna and Raven are two of my favorite Titans. Just throwing that out there.
I didn't even know she was a Titan. I only know her from Suicide Squad.
Yep.
When she's in the little girl, the not the little girl one. Well, their books are aimed at my daughter. Has a bunch of them. What is it? Where
Is it
Harley
like the
Quinn
DC
goes to
superhero girls or?
yes, superhero
Yeah, that
girls.
one.
There it is. She's in that as well. Um, so Zantana,
Zatanna.
Zantana,
Zatanna.
like a katana.
Yes, but
Okay. So she said, get the hell out of here. So then Raven formed the Teen Titans as the new Teen Titans to fight her father.
Hmm.
And this team consisted of Robin, Kid Flash, Wonder Girl, Starfire, Cyborg, and Beast Boy, which is also known as Changeling. And obviously, we see Beast Boy in this. That's Garfield, also known as Gar. So Raven and her new friends later to become to known as a family, which we see that in the show. Corey Anders, this version of Starfire arrives on Earth with amnesia. In the comics, Starfire arrived on Earth after escaping her enslavement by the Citadel, which I thought was interesting because she's royalty in the show.
Yeah, she is.
So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Her and Dick Grayson are a couple in the comics as well. I think they even have a child.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Starfire is like the main one that Dick Grayson's always kind of had a thing with, which they actually show in season 2 of Titans.
No, they showed in season one.
Oh, it was season 1. That's right. I couldn't remember.
I think we'll see them together again though, because it was. I think they just haven't had time.
Yeah, I mean they've done a really great job of character development in the show, but there's still obviously a lot more that they could do.
Yeah, agreed. So Gar Logan, also known as Garfield Logan, he has green skin in the
Beast
comics and can
Boy.
transform. Yes, Beast Boy or Changeling. So I was reading in the comics that he can change into any animal, and we actually do see this in season one. He changes into a snake
But then the
at one
CGI
point.
got too expensive.
So now he can only be a tiger.
Well, that is one of my biggest gripes about this show. I don't mean to keep going back and forth, but it's the fact
No,
that
that's why we're here.
they definitely don't utilize him at all. Well, probably because it costs too much money to turn him into different animals. And so it's like, don't have Beast Boy then if you're not going to showcase Beast Boy himself. Like his thing is turning into different animals and things. I want to
Right.
see
And they
that.
almost use it more as like a comedy
Yeah,
thing.
they don't use it to help the plot along whatsoever. And it's honestly the most disappointing thing about the show to me personally.
Well, that was like in Walking Dead. A lot of people, well, you see that in Walking Dead and you see that in Game of Thrones. Like the dire wolves, like,
Yeah, you never see the direwolves because they've spent all the money on the dragons.
right. But in The Walking Dead with Ezekiel's tiger,
Yeah,
like tiger didn't get the justice it deserved.
they start to
But
cheap out.
in the comics, though, he doesn't have to be naked to transform. And I think again, I think they made that more of like a comedic approach. But also, I mean, it sounds silly to say it's more realistic, but like the Stanley said the one thing he could never explain was Bruce Banner's pants.
Yeah,
Like, so I mean, saying he has to be naked to transform makes sense.
yeah,
But
that does make sense.
all right, then we have Dawn and Hank. So they are Hawk and Dove. Much like in the comics, they were originally brothers. However, in the comics, they were not half siblings, they were full siblings. Dawn does replace Dawn as Dove. And fun fact here, Steve Ditko was actually part of creating the original Hawk and
Mm,
Dove, and we
that's
know
cool.
him as the creator of
Yeah,
Spidey, which is so common. I mean, there was even, I think, Rob
everybody was
Liefeld
flopping
is
back and forth.
involved in Slade Wilson, yeah, and Wade
It's
Wilson.
unfortunate that Rob Liefeld is such a douchebag.
Is he?
He's a very big MAGA kind of guy. Oh yeah, he says a lot
Is
of dumb
I
shit.
follow him on Instagram? I didn't know that.
No, him on Twitter, he says a lot of dumb shit. Trust me.
Oh, I don't follow him on Twitter.
That's good. Just don't.
I always find it interesting. His wife is a triplet, and he posts pictures, and it's like three of the same women. But so Jason Todd. So in the comics, he's more of an anti-hero, which I totally can see that. He was looking forward to beating up cops in the show. So he was the second one to ever be Robin. And he's also second to be the Red Hood, which I found interesting because at one point, Wonder Girl's getting a call from Red Hood.
Oh
So
yeah.
so in the comics, he is beaten to death by Joker and, well, not beaten to
With
death.
the
He's
crowbar. And then
beaten by Joker
no,
and
he's
dies
beaten
in
to
an
death.
explosion.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
is he?
He is I mean, yeah. I mean, it's one or the other. It depends on what story you're reading, but then obviously Ra's al Ghul puts him in the Lazarus pit. And
Oh,
that's why he becomes crazy, which if you haven't watched Red Hood, the animated movie Under the Red Hood, Go watch that shit.
Is
It
that
is
the one
one
that
of
Jensen Ackles voices Red Hood?
yes, it is one of the best animated DC films that you could possibly watch. Straight up.
You had me at Jensen Ackles.
So go watch that. I do want to complain about Donna Troy for a second
Go
because
for
I
it.
her character was great in the show, but they killed her by
I don't
crushing
think she's
her.
dead.
She's not, because you see her in season three's promos.
Oh,
She's not dead. She was filming season three.
I
They
figured she
they
wasn't dead because Raven went with her.
they act like she's dead after getting crushed in season two, but then she shows up in season three, and it's like my problem was like they're just gonna kill her in such a punk ass way, but she's obviously not dead. So that's one thing. I had an issue with Jason Todd. The actor who played Jason Todd was kind of annoying, but that actually
Mm-hmm.
he was annoying, but I mean, I guess that lines up with the act with like the actual character of Jason Todd, who's kind of a dick anyways. Not no pun intended to Dick Grayson, but um
I
yeah,
enjoyed
he
your dick pic comment on Twitter.
yes. Oh god, yeah. When the fleets were going away, I wanted to show a dick pic, and it was Dick Grayson for anybody who's disappointed or didn't see. But that's kind of how I feel. Jason Todd is kind of annoying. And then I also want to give one more fun fact is so the guy who plays Dick Grayson in this, the guy who plays Hank in this, and they both teamed up. And there's a movie called Ghosts of War that's actually a pretty interesting horror movie. They actually played together. It's like a big Teen Titans hangout for this movie. There's a bunch of them in that movie. So go watch that. It's about
That's
soldiers,
cool.
but in World War II. However, there's more to that story, and they get trapped in a house where there's like ghosts and stuff. So
Hmm,
there's that.
that's cool. All right. Well, Donna Troy in the comics was created to be a playmate for the young Wonder Woman by the sorceress Magala, who used a magical mirror to create a duplicate of Diana through her own personality. She was then abducted by Dark Angel, who mistook her for the real Diana and cursed her to experience a cycle of countless tragic lives, given the name Donna Troy as a cruel joke to her origins. But it would not be until the intervention of Wonder Woman, Hippolyta, who I guess is like
Hippolyta.
there you go, and the Flash years later that she would learn this. At one point, she actually took up the name Wonder Woman or took up the Wonder Woman mantle. Connor, I am looking forward to hearing more about Connor.
Superboy is
I
gonna be dope. Yes.
never knew about Superboy. So, yes, he is Superboy. Connor Kent. In the comics, he is a clone genetically created from Superman after Superman's killed by Doomsday. And Connor doesn't know until later in his life that Lex Luthor donated a blood sample as well. So it sounds like in the comics, he's much more Superman than he is Lex Luthor.
No, he very
Whereas
much is. Yes.
in this show, they say he's 50-50, and you see it right away with his intelligence.
Yes.
So Molly Jensen is cast for the 2021 season, so the third season. We have not met her yet. I don't think she exists in the DC universe. When I Googled her, I got pictures of Demi Moore in the movie Ghost.
Oh, that's
However,
random.
there is a Maxwell Jensen. So I think this might be, you're seeing Marvel do that. The boys are doing that, doing a lot of the gender swapping, just so we don't have to just stare at a bunch of white dudes. But if it is this person, and by the next time we record, we'll probably know, so we
That's
can
true.
call
Yes.
ourselves out.
Yes.
So if it is this person, she's not good. It's the Parasite, and they're very, very bad. So we'll find out.
Interesting.
So Jericho is Slade Wilson's son and also Rose Wilson's brother. That is all correct. Jericho is also known as Joe Wilson, and we've seen him in the Arrow show, but he goes by Joe in that. So Jericho is obviously the kid whose throat was slit. He couldn't speak. He knows American Sign Language. That's accurate to the comics. And he's also been in the cartoon Teen Titans. So a lot of you may actually already know him. And his metahuman powers are similar to in the show. He got them from his dad. In the Rebirth comics, they made his past a bit darker. So originally, he actually had a decent childhood. And so when they redid him, his childhood got darker. He's now bisexual. His mom, though, in both the original one and the Rebirth origin, makes his dad blind in one eye. So that's why I didn't know that. That's why he has the one eyes from his wife. So good for her. The Rebirth, though, the 2011 one is Rob Liefeld. So he did the storyline there. And Jericho does jump into his sister Rose to get her subconscious out of a coma, although that was at the advice of Ra's al Ghul, so that's probably not good. But there was a lot more to that. But we did, kind of get a glimpse of a little bit of that at the end of season 2. But it really seems so. Those are the end of my fun facts. I personally do not read DC comics. These were all just Google searches,
You
Wikipedia,
should.
DC
You should read
Wikipedia.
Nightwing. Nightwing is a really good run.
I saw that at the comic book shop today, and I almost thought about it, but uh, so this is just my glimpse of the origin. But anybody who has done a deep dive, who knows these characters much better, if there's anything you think is important, let us know, and we'll share it, and we'll give you credit for the show, because I love knowing. I mean, that's how I got into comics, was wanting to know the
It's true.
backstories of X-Men and Spider-Man,
It's true. No, but
Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman.
what did you think about seasons 1 and 2 of Titans though? How like there was a lot of great moments. I thought that season 1, like right off the bat, you have Robin saying "fuck Batman." He's in his old school
Yeah.
Robin outfit. Like that was pretty rad. Um, I thought it was kind of cool seeing him being a cop and how they kind of brought everybody together. Raven was a really good character. They obviously fight her dad in the finale, which
Mm-hmm.
was really well done. I thought
It was really
it,
well done, but it wasn't very climatic at
well,
all.
no, the finales. The problem with this show is the finales fall flat. Like you build up, and then you get to this final episode of the season, and they're just kind of like, okay. Like
Well,
jump
that
into
was
season
easy.
2 real quick. I felt that I didn't necessarily like the finale. I didn't like how they used Deathstroke in this season 2 because I felt like they built him up to be this badass, and then he just kind of came and went, and you forget about him, and it was kind of disappointing.
I didn't hate the Deathstroke story. I felt like there was more to it. There was
Well, they
stuff that kind
definitely
of
gave you
surprised
more to
me.
it, but it just at the
Yeah.
end, like there was no climax again, though.
Well, I liked it better, I guess, than the one with her dad, because I felt the one with her dad, it was just too easy. It's like your dad's a demon, your mom's a human. Every single person that's on your side is trapped in like a trance, and you just quickly snapped them all out of it. Like,
That's
and they
fair.
did a
Well,
whole episode.
in the comics, her dad's trapped inside her gem, which is on her forehead, which she battles with constantly.
So I'm guessing that's what that still is.
Yes, he's trapped inside there.
Oh.
That's why
So
that's
it's like the
there.
mark of Cain and Supernatural.
Yes.
Gotcha. You say
I
yes.
will
You don't know what I'm
pretend.
talking
Of
about.
course, I'm just saying yes because sure, why not? But no, he's trapped in there. That's what that is. So that makes more sense. But
Hmm.
yeah, I thought overall the fight scenes are really great. I love Starfire. The actress they have for Starfire is really well. Um,
Yeah, I like her
her
too.
storyline going on. I will say some of the things they threw in there, obviously for the sake of drama, which were kind of lame, but overall, it's really cool. You even had, I wish they would pull Cyborg into this universe full time from Doom Patrol because they crossed over a little bit, but I would love to see Cyborg come to the Titans full time just because, like, that's his main group from the comics, is he's always with the Titans. And so that
Yeah,
would be
we
really
didn't
cool.
see him in well, because we don't see Cyborg right away in the Doom Patrol.
No,
So
he
he
shows
wasn't in
up
that
later
pilot one.
on and he kind of has like a different path. And
I like him in Doom Patrol.
obviously, we're never going to get Ray Fisher back, but like
Well, I like the
something.
one from Doom Patrol way more
Yeah, I
than
thought
Justice
he's a
League.
good actor. I think he's pretty good
Ray
at it.
Fisher will
And
be at MegaCon.
oh, is he really?
Hmm.
If you see, it's too bad you don't have a press pass.
I have his Q&A on my to-do list.
You should try to give him a sticker
Oh yeah, I need to pull out
because
stickers.
I would love to have Ray Fisher. I want to talk to Ray. I like Ray Fisher. I think he was done wrong, and so it'd be cool to chat. But that's neither here nor there.
All
But
right, well, I don't have too many fun facts.
no, I mean not really at all. It's just I thought this. I thought that with season 3, I'm excited to see Barbara. I'm excited to see Red Hood because he's a really good character, and I'm really excited for Scarecrow because Scarecrow is one of
hmm
my favorite Batman villains that I don't think it's enough respect in any iteration, like not just the comics, in any sort of live action. Scarecrow doesn't get enough respect. Like Christopher Nolan wasted Scarecrow. You don't see him in any other
It was a bad
iteration of live
choice of
action.
actor.
Cillian Murphy is fantastic. You watch your mouth.
I'm not saying him is bad in general. I'm saying him as the Scarecrow. I never found him
He
intimidating
had
when
nothing to
watching those
do.
movies.
Jonathan Crane isn't intimidating as Jonathan Crane, but as Scarecrow, when he puts the mask on, like in the fear toxins, that's pretty terrifying. They just didn't have him do anything. And
No,
so
I don't know.
I think like the whole fear aspect, playing in your fears, I've always loved that horror aspect, and I wish somebody would lean into it. So I hope they really get creepy with it
That's what
in
you do. They
the
need to do straight
season.
up horror movie based on it.
Yeah, if you're gonna do Scarecrow, like get creepy with it. And then of course Joker. I don't think we're actually gonna see Joker at all, other than him killing Jason
Jason
Todd.
Todd. That's my theory as well. And when I read the origin thing, I was like, oh, that's what's happening there.
Yeah,
That's
he's beating him
exactly
with the
what that is.
crowbar, and I think we get Tim Drake in this coming season as well. So there's a lot of great things coming up. But
Who's Tim Drake?
Tim Drake is another Robin. He's
Oh,
yes. You have Dick Grayson, Jason Todd. You have Tim Drake, who in actually they just came out with in the new comics. He is actually bisexual, so that is really cool. A lot of representation there. And then of course you have Damian Wayne, who is Batman's son. He's the current Robin. So little
mm.
fun facts there. But let's
So
wrap up with what fun facts you had. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, you're fine. I only have two. So, and one of them is the question we were asking earlier. Ian Glenn, Iain
Oh yeah,
Glenn,
that's his name. Yes.
is the guy from Game of Thrones that plays Batman, and he's the oldest Batman ever at the age of 58. But I liked him. I mean, again, because yeah, this is the point where Robin's kind of taking over the mantle, and he's older, but he still has that hint of badassness. But I did
Mhm.
love Starfire when she was like, "Did he just mansplain us to us why we
Yes.
should
Yeah.
restart the Titans?"
Well, I mean, you can have him as an older Batman because he doesn't really put the suit on at all, other than like
Mm-mm.
the whole like Nightwing's freaking out and he fights Batman
Right.
kind of thing. So that was cool, but I don't think we'll see much of Batman. I don't think we're really going to see Joker at all, but Scarecrow I am most excited about, and then obviously I'm stoked on Red Hood. So at least the
I
first
did,
episode is out at this point.
yeah. I did really enjoy though, when Dick Grayson was in the trance and you saw Batman like go after Joker and kill him and then come back and like
Yeah, that was
stab
gnarly.
Joker in the ICU. I really thought that was cool. I like that. I
There's a
knew it
lot
was
to
all
love in
fake.
this show. This show had a lot to do, but or a lot to love. It's just if they can get their finales and land their finales, then it would be a top tier show. So I hope you guys go out and watch this show. Like watch it whether it's on HBO Max or however you watch things. I know I'm going to be watching. I'm going to pop it on tomorrow as soon as I get home.
Is it tomorrow or Friday?
Tomorrow's
Doesn't matter
Thursday.
now. It's
Tomorrow's
out.
Thursday.
I know. Is
In
it
our
tomorrow or
time.
Friday?
By now you've already listened to this, but I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else before we wrap it up?
No,
No, no. So once again, uh next week we're gonna be what are we talking about next week?
I don't know. I
Oh
do know, but
gosh.
I don't know.
Oh, we don't know. It's a surprise. Well, we're gonna talk about Lauren's excursions out to MegaCon. We're gonna
Oh
talk about
yeah.
beer, of course, some more news, and talk some more gangsta shit, dog. I don't know, to be honest with you. So thank you guys for tuning in. As always, it's been a wonderful episode. Catch us next time on a wonderful edition of Hops Geek News, and cheers.
Cheers.
This has been a Hops News production. You can find Hops News on all your favorite podcasts and social media platforms at Hops News. Cheers.